Hi there folks, Henrik from Sangrok again. Today I want to interview a Tai Chi instructor that happens to be one of my best friends, and we are so fortunate that we are at his cabin at lovely Kragerø, Skåtøy in Norway. And I want to ask Mikkelai a little bit about the benefits of practicing Tai Chi when you're also doing karate and Taekwondo, and some of your thoughts around that theme.
Yeah, so it's pleasure to say hi, and the benefits of the Tai Chi Chuan practice is to stimulate the internal energy flow of the Qi, which is useful for all aspects of life, for staying healthy, vibrant, warding off diseases, and so on and so forth. It's all based on the circulation of the energy inside the body, which of course includes the fluids, the blood streams, the intake of oxygen, so on and so forth. So the Chinese have a concept of Bing Qi, which means used up or old energy, which is something that you want to get rid of. So the Qigong exercises, which means basically just Gong means work, like in Kung Fu. Kung being your work, and the Fa meaning explosive energy. So you can also say Tai Chi Chuan Qigong is very much like a Kung Fu also. But mainly the Qigong practice is slower, more relaxed than the explosiveness of the external martial arts. So by tuning in to the Qi and by developing the circulation, you can become healthier and stronger, more enduring, and it can also increase your focus. And you can also learn how to use the energy outwards and inwards, so you can eventually develop stronger punches, kicks, blocks, etc. by utilizing the Qi and the focus that you attain during your practice.
Yeah. I sometimes say, actually we talk about the Neigong and the Weigong, the hard and the soft styles.
Yeah.
And I have said many times that it's a misunderstanding to divide these styles into soft and hard styles.
Yeah.
Because that is like just the basic, because you need both aspects if you do Taekwondo or Tai Chi or Karate or whatever.
That's correct.
How do you think about that?
Yeah, and it's pointless to imagine that you are fighting in slow motion. I mean, maybe you can be so relaxed that you can have a slow motion feeling inside you, but once the action gets going, then of course you have to respond quickly. Yeah. So practicing Tai Chi on your own or with some other people and just doing the movements is good for your health, but it doesn't necessarily make you a better fighter. Whereas if you apply it with sparring, then you can understand how the fluidness of the Tai Chi Chuan is very beneficial for all other martial arts, or indeed any physical activity that you're doing, because it helps you to relax when you're not supposed to waste energy, and it helps you to apply the energy when it's needed. Now, there's a misunderstanding often between some of the people watching Tai Chi. It looks like some kind of geriatric, very meditative, weird thing. But this is a misunderstanding. The fact is that once you speed it up, of course, it becomes Kung Fu or Wushu or whatever you want to call it. Now, the interesting thing is that if you're practicing to be stronger and harder, then you will, of course, increase your rapidness and your strength by doing the same punches or whatever over and over and over again. Now, if you're practicing internally, then you can release tensions in the muscle so that the distance between the locked muscle, the tense muscle, and the relaxed muscle becomes wider. Now, in this way, you can actually develop strength and speed by tuning into relaxation. And this might sound like a paradox, but the effectiveness of an impact is based on how quickly it's executed and how well the focus is. It's just like a small bullet. When a bullet flies out of a gun or whatever, it's just a small metallic projectile, but the speed makes the impact very efficient. Now it's the same with the punch. When you apply your focus in the impact point, then the distance between how relaxed the muscle is and how tense it is the most vital point.
Yeah.
So that way you can actually develop strong impact by practicing in the exact opposite direction by relaxation.
Yeah, and isn't it like if you're going to have an explosion, you need to start from, call it a collapse, because you cannot explode something that is already in action.
Precisely. You need to turn off and switch on. So it's just like a light switch. Now the basic of this is in the hip. By releasing the hip joints, then you release the tension in the upper torso, and this makes you able to connect with the feet, so you can have the muscles going in synchronicity all through the body. And the impact point here is related to this point, with the whole thing in action at the same time. So the Chinese have a saying which is "Nei Wai Jian Shou," and as far as I've been told, I don't speak Chinese, but the guy who was telling me this, he was the teacher of the Beijing Wushu team for several decades. He was a fantastic martial artist, Master Li Yunfeng, and he said, at the end of the day, all the roads lead to Rome. So it doesn't really matter. You can achieve the same results also by practicing soft and hard. And when he was doing all his wushu with the youngsters, he noticed that they were extremely good acrobatics and so on and so forth, but they lacked the internal bit. And so he was focusing a lot on teaching qigong to his wushu students, and this improved their skills.
Actually, I tell my students that the hip is the engine of the body. But all engine, they need fuel, and the fuel is the breathing.
Yeah.
How do you think that also is the same with the Tai Chi?
Yeah, it's just the basics of life. I mean, we cannot exist without air, and we need the compression inside. So if you're completely out of breath, then there is no compression left. So you don't have any bounce. So you need to have the to make the explosion. So of course you're using the breath all the time. And interestingly enough, in old Chinese, one word for air is simply qi. Yeah. One of the original ideas of qi was like vapor rising from the kettle. So this is one illusion or one version of qi, and the other one is simply air. So qi is not something that we just have inside us. Qi is all around us. It's like it's just basic energy, and it's all on a spectrum. I believe it's like the most condensed form is in matter, the most subtle form is in our intention, in our thoughts, in what the Chinese call the Shen. Shen being the spirit, and then the Qi being the universal force, and then Jing is like our essence. It's like vitality, like sperm, or yeah.
Exactly. in Taekwondo, that is my main art. We have something called maki, and maki is quite often translated as blocking. But actually, if you look at the blocking, you should not block anything, because that is hard against hard. It should be absorbing.
Yes.
And I have, together with you, practiced pushing hands, tushu of Tai Chi. And if I look at the blocking technique in Taekwondo as an absorbing way, I can find many similarities with the pushing hands. So don't you think pushing hands should be something that all practitioners, if it is karate or taekwondo, should know something about?
Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in martial arts, it's very worthwhile to do some wrestling or some judo, jiu-jitsu, so that you really get into the grab of things. And you should also practice like boxing or punching, and then of course you have all all the fantastic kicks in the Taekwondo. So I believe that most people, if they are interested in martial arts, they shouldn't just focus on one thing. They should try to get an understanding of what happens. Because I mean, if I get into a contest with a really good wrestler and he gets inside my body, I'm might be chanceless. Whereas on the other hand, if he's never learned how to kick or punch, then you can beat him up from a distance. So I believe that you should practice all these different things. I started with judo when I was young and did that for many years, and then went on to Taekwondo for a number of years, and then so my approach to Tai Chi has always been martial. Whereas of course maybe, I don't know, 60-70% of the people practicing, they don't really know what the applications are for. They don't necessarily think about it as a martial art, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it's still healthy.
Yeah, it's still healthy. But I also think that my view of martial art has always been to study other styles, but you need to have one base. So you should like concentrate on what is your main style, and then you should get some impulses from other, because
because it's not worthwhile doing 1 month that and 1 month of that. You need to get into stuff. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's actually the amount of time that you put in. And your focus and your dedication. That's if you're dedicated, then you will do your practice. And it doesn't matter if it's cooking or rowing or sailing or fighting or whatever it is. You just you do what you feel for.
And always keep on studying.
Yes, exactly. Whatever it is, I mean, keep on doing it and have a healthy life. Have a good time.
And that's exactly what we have here at the cabin. Of course, we are discussing the Tai Chi and the Taekwondo, and but the thing that makes it fun is that we are always curious, and I think that's the way of life. Keep on studying.
Always keep continuous, and that was Master Chang is saying.
Yeah, Master Chang, if you're listening, always continue. So thank you for the interview. We will continue practicing together. Now we will have a little bit social life. So thank you for tuning in here from Kragerø. Goodbye.